Now, both of these, for some reason, I didn't have my audio set up, so neither of them have audio, but we're going to take a look at this one live. I haven't looked at this one yet to see what happened. Annapolis, Double Novo, Svea, Gearing, Yu Yang, which is a good setup. This is something that I kind of wanted to see in Battlestar, but we didn't really do it. We've been running 3DD comps, and it's been pretty effective. Okay, so they're going to send you out with the yo-yo. At this point, you're about to cut across the Novo there. Luckily, you were behind. You'll be watching that as you're coming out of the cab, because that stuff can screw you over if you're not able to get to your positions fast enough because of crashing into another boat, you get tangled up, things like that. So just be aware. Sometimes it's not you, sometimes it's the other person. Let's see. So we're pushing down to the cap. We're throwing torpedoes. You've got RPF. The odds are that this guy is probably on the backside of this island here where he's safe. So at this point, I would probably radar just to figure out if there was anything there or not. Because, I mean, your radar is going to come back pretty quickly. And then at that point, you know which DD it is, and then you're looking for the other DD. Because the odds are it's Kleber, but it could be Gearing with low detection. And then you're going to see. So now we see the Novos down here providing radar coverage, counter for the middle here. And, but they could have Kleber on the outside. So here we're just gathering information. But we don't really do anything with that. We don't radar. We're just going to allow them to cap it without really contesting it. I'm not sure what the Kleber had set up there. I mean, the yo-yo. I don't know if I imagine he's running smoke. But if he's double radar, then yeah, I'd have probably pushed in there and radared him, at least to scare him. Enemy Novo. At this point, this is pretty hot. You got a Novo and you have the Colombo. Both of them cause you a lot of problems. The Yu Yang is spotted, so his detectability is pretty good, which means that whatever it is probably right in here, farting around. And it's probably Gearing since he's spotted. Yeah, because there's Kleber. So Stalingrad to the outside, Novo, Colombo. That's a lot of heat. There's really no way for you to cap this point. So this is where the push side needs to go. So, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 boats here. So maximum is 3 here. And this guy's a defensive boat here. So at this point, your Annapolis is pushing mid. The Gearing's, he needs to really get in there. And you've got Novo Colombo there. Here, it's a tough spot. They're defensive. They've got the caps, and this side has got to push. So these guys are going to immediately start to shift to come across here. And so the thing is that as soon as you're really detected, it's going to be hard to stay alive for very long. And so now the Gearing's pushed across, and he's got you detected here mid. And so you kind of skidded to a stop there in order to shoot. You've got to move in your smoke, because a good player will notice you snap onto you and will put rounds on you in your smoke. He may not kill you, but he very well may citadel you. And in this boat, it's not something that you want to have citadel you. So here I would be throwing torpedoes across, so you're kind of setting up for it. When you're doing this stuff, go ahead and get your torpedo angles, and there you go, right there. That's where I would put them. Okay, so he doesn't do that. Your other guys, okay, so he's running radar too. Okay. Accelerate and angle away is fine. I would have cut across to deny this angle, because what he's wanting to do is he knows he can't push out in the open, and now his job is to deter you from getting in there. So now what you have to do is push out to your right to cut the angle off. So you guys both need to push back towards the middle and put pressure on this guy and kill him. You do have the Novo South, the Stalingrad, and the Colombo are both coming here to blunt this attack here, because they know they're coming for this cap. And the Gearing's going to want you to stay here so he can throw torpedoes across the middle. So there's a Novo pushing across the cap, and again, he's radar deterrence for that. And currently, the issue that you have is the Yu Yang has high, I think he has high detectability, higher detectability, but he's got radar, so he has no smoke, so he can't disengage, and nobody's spotting anybody. So, the DD's really got to do some spotting in here. So really, Yo-Yo probably would have been better out here, open water fighting, and the gearing over here with you with smoke. But see, you notice how he immediately slammed on the brakes and stopped as soon as he saw you. He slammed on the brakes. So just be aware of that when you're doing your shooting. And at this point, you're just shooting at everything, anything and everything. And what you want to do is you want to try to play the game of making them look at you and making them shoot at you and not. So currently the deal is that if you push too far away, they push you too far away from this cap, these guys in the south get to go down here and do whatever they want to. And these two dudes are going to push across here and cause problems. You have to put enough pressure on these guys to where they must focus on you, or where they're under gunfire the whole time, where they're getting hit and they're getting set on fire, you're busting their torpedo tubes, things like that. Because this guy is setting up for a torpedo run on these guys right here. And this guy's pushing up here. So again, you can go dark. He doesn't have line of sight on you. And you can start to nose in towards the Yu-Yang and keep your angle up. Obviously, any damage you're going to take is going to be bad, but the alternative is letting them have this area. And your two Novos are going to get hurt because these guys don't have any pressure on them. So if I was going to throw torpedoes, I would throw torpedoes back down through here, where if the Novo makes a turn across, which is where you're throwing torpedoes. And so here, again, we lose sight. The Yo-Yo can't push in because he doesn't have the detectability, and the Novo is here. And so with you pushing further and further away, you're putting yourself out of the fight, just further and further away. Right now, no one's shooting at you. No one can see you. Nobody knows you're there. So the thing you could do would be to turn in and push down here and get the nose of the Novo. Radar him as you come in there and just cause him problems. But right now, neither of you can do anything, and you're letting both of these guys do whatever they want to. This guy's setting up to run torpedoes on these guys. The Yo-Yo can't do anything about it, and the Novo is here to goon you guys out with radar so that everyone knows. The Stalingrad is middle, probably setting up to ambush these guys, and these guys are all south blunting this attack, pushing through. Now, again, this is because these guys really haven't moved. They did not aggressively push through here, because I'm guessing that was the plan. And then when the plan didn't work, then everyone stopped. So now at the point, you've got to make a play. And the play is, don't do anything, and you lose for sure. Do something, you may win. So here, I couldn't see if the Novo was looking at you or not. He probably was. He can't see you, but you know you're in his radar range. But at this point, you got to put pressure on him. So I'm surprised that the Novos haven't radared, because they have radar range for here, and they haven't radared anybody yet. So the Novos just spotted him somewhere or other, because no one popped radar. The why, again, they hadn't popped radar here, I don't understand. That's 2 salvos, 3 salvos they could put on him. And at this point, this Novo is solo. He's by himself, and you and the Yu-Yang could work together to do him. Okay, so he's at 12 kilometers. We're looking to see where he's looking. So right here, you should be looking to see where his guns are at. You zoom in, look at his guns. If his guns are on you, then start your angling towards or away. This is a tougher spot. He's looking for the Yu-Yang. He knows the Yu-Yang's there because he just had deep waters come by. He knows you've got some torps in the water come past him. If the Yu-Yang can keep eyes on him, then I would smoke, get some fire started, and just get him to stop where he's at, because he's going to stop once he notices the smoke off his nose, because he knows torpedoes are going to be on the way. And so basically, again, we're trying to keep him shooting at you guys and not over the year at these two guys. The gearing is their problem at this point. There's nothing you can do about it. And so again, you got to be watching his guns. So the guns aren't looking at you. And now we fire. We're angling away, which is fine. And now slow down and start your turn. He's got HE, which is fine. And we should have done like throttle juke down and then throttle juke back up. And now what we're doing is, this is good. This is a good setup for the Yo-Yo to throw torps across his nose. And so right now, we hadn't taken any damage. I wouldn't smoke yet, because again, we're at 11.8. He can radar you, but the radar is only 15 seconds. And so now you're full back, which we're not stopping. We should be full reverse and then full forward, unless you're using your smoke. So you've taken some damage. The Yo-Yo's popped his radar for the gearing, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure why there's not gunfire in here from the Yo-Yo. And again, so the deal is because you're slow and you're not using your speed boost, you're inside of his radar range. See, if you were able to, as soon as he was saying you're going to start shooting, you hit your speed and start running away from him and get outside of 12 kilometers so that when you take a hit, you can smoke and break contact, get your heal in, and then come back. But you are drawing him out and away. So, I mean, you're doing your job and you just have to work on trying to do it effectively. Remember to use your right mouse button for the free look when you're doing this stuff, because then you can zoom. It's all the way zoomed in. You hit your right mouse button. You can look all the way around. You hold the right mouse button, and then you come right back into shooting. And the deal is that every 3.7 seconds, if you're shooting and you're going to shoot, every 4 seconds, rounds should be going out as quick as you can shoot. Put as much hurt on this guy as quickly as possible. So again, I would have full throttle. You got the speed boost on now. And the deal is it's on points. They had the caps for too long. Didn't put enough pressure on it. Now, it wasn't really your fault. And it wasn't... Again, most of the time, these losses are culminations of all the stuff. You didn't really put enough pressure on there. Your boat comp really wasn't set up. Having the yo-yo on this side, to me... really, if you had a Novo out here and then the Yu Yang on the inside of the radar... But the Yu Yang could have done better out here, possibly against the Kleber. But again, it depends on what the enemy does. And then here, everyone just kind of balled up and they didn't push. You guys spotted everything. It should have been an immediate push into C and gun defensive. And it really didn't. It just didn't. It didn't go that way. And now the problem that you had is that Colombo, Stalingrad, Novo. But as soon as they knew that was all it was on at your cap, they immediately ignored you and didn't care. So you have to make yourself relevant. If you're on the flanking side, the kite side, yes, you kite. But if the enemy is not going to chase you, then you have to make them chase you. You have to go down there. If they're not going to chase you, then get damage. Start slapping around, start throwing torpedoes, put a lot of gunfire on them, piss them off, annoy the shit out of them, do as much as you can to them. And try to put as much pressure on the other enemies as well. So like this whole time, your radar was not doing any good. The yo-yo was down here trying to do work, but he had no smoke and he couldn't really disengage. Yeah, he did put pressure on the gearing. I was really surprised the gearing didn't kill anybody through here with torpedoes. It seemed like he would have been pretty well set up, but we couldn't see. And so this is an engagement where, yes, you did kite. There really wasn't any way for you to prevent them from getting on the cap. But at the same time, you had a lot of opportunities to put pressure, and you really didn't put any pressure on it. You got to take some risks sometimes, and sometimes it'll end in you getting blasted. And yeah, maybe they'll chew your butt a little bit, but if it works out, then it can mean a lot later in the game. But here they had 2 caps. They didn't really have to push. Your guys really didn't push. It really wasn't anything you could do about this engagement here. So